Basically, yeah, you look like the zombie in any number of zombie movies we've seen this week.
Yeah, like Little Monsters.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely, I do for sure.
Welcome to the Movie Epidemic podcast. I'm your host, Buck Hollywood Leduc. It's 2 a.m. and I'm hot. I'm coming in hot.
Yeah, we're running in on a really weird late night podcast for you guys. All about Calgary Underground Film Festival, Day 5. It was Friday. This one was a long one.
Sure.
This one was a long one for sure because this one had the midnight showing of Nekrotronic, which we'll be talking about a little bit later. But also, we started the day at 4 p.m. We watched The Dead Center, then Cameron McGowan's Red Letter Day, and then after that, we saw Knife Plus Heart, a really weird French movie that we're going to be talking about. So it's actually a pretty jam-packed day at Cuff, and until I started to feel super sick, I was having a really, really good time today.
Yeah, just a random sickness as far as I can tell.
Yeah.
Because all of a sudden Charlie's just vomiting. And he's like, why does downtown smell so bad? I'm like, it's you, bro.
But here's the
It's
thing.
you.
Here's the thing. If nothing illustrates my dedication to this podcast, it is 2 a.m. I have just vomited into a public garbage can, and here I am on the podcast. I'm here. I showed up, you know?
Fair enough. Chadley's out here working.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, Podcast Bot 5000. Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for.
I'm afraid.
Why don't you play us something, baby?
Start? I don't feel so good.
You can practically see it from here. What?
Mr. Leduc, I don't feel so good. Well,
That's funny because we assumed that I was the one that was going to crumble, but to be quite honest, I feel perfectly fine.
Yeah,
I'm probably going to do more shit after this.
yeah, you look all right. I'm probably going to spend 3 hours on the floor of the bathroom and then probably pass out on the floor of the bathroom. Like you do, as you do.
I'm tired for sure, but it's day 5. That's to be expected.
Yeah.
But we saw some stuff today. Why don't we start off with The Dead Center?
The Dead Center. Yeah, we saw
The Billy
this.
Senese film.
Billy Senese. It also starred Shane, I want to say Memeth, something like that. The director, writer, and star of a movie called Primer, which, of course, we fucking love. It's one of the best sci-fi movies of the past 20 years.
I like Primer.
Yeah, Primer's great. I think it's a really fucking good movie. So today we are talking about Billy Senese and his movie, The Dead Center, and I actually I like this movie a lot. It's sort of like it's a weird horror movie that like sort of inches on suspense and mystery and intrigue, which I really, really like, and I love the way that they pull on that so much in the movie. Because what this movie is really about is this guy who was supposedly dead, and then he comes back to life. He checks himself into a psych ward.
Kind of.
Yeah, kind
Just
of.
wanders into it.
Yeah, he just wanders into it.
Lucky. So lucky. So convenient.
But there's two halves to this story, which is really interesting. There's the coroner who's like, where the fuck did this body go?
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the stuff going on in the psych ward where people are like, who the fuck is this guy? And they try and help him. And as it turns out, he's possessed by a demon, and he starts murdering people.
And I really like the mythos of this movie.
Yeah, really, really cool. Yeah.
It's kind of, it feels to me like a Twilight Zone episode or something.
Yeah.
It's
Oh
like-
yeah, absolutely. Or like Black Mirror, but good.
Sure. That's the point of reference for millennials, right? Black Mirror.
But good.
It's Twilight Zone, guys. You seen that show?
Same shit.
Oh, I know it got remade, so we now know what it is, but did you see the original? Now that's good shit.
That's that good, yeah.
And the reason I kind of compare it to that is because those movies, or Twilight Zone, all ended with bad endings usually.
Yeah, absolutely. And this movie has a horrific ending.
Dude, we're straight up piling bodies of kids up in this motherfucker. But back to the mythos, it's it kind of like takes over like some I don't know if any of them are real besides like some like
The one that's seen in the film.
yeah, but like it's this monster that seems to be mass killing people, and they don't know what's causing it. Like, could be a disease, could be genocide,
and it just shows up sometimes throughout history as well.
Yeah.
Like there's they show newspaper clippings from like findings of things that date back to like 80 AD and stuff like that, where there's these mass graves with these people with the expression on their face that the victims get on their face when they're murdered in this movie, which is really, really cool.
What I really liked about this movie is it don't hold your hand, my man. You gotta figure out what's going on. Really, they don't tell you that much.
Yeah, really, everything that we've just said is all like none of that is explained through exposition. No. Like almost none of it. It's mostly
there's not really that much exposition because the main character, Jeremy Childs or whatever, the John Doe, doesn't really talk. Talks a couple times, but not much.
Yeah, no, which I really, really like. The only real exposition I'd say is in this movie is through the coroner.
And the psychiatrist a bit.
A little bit through the psychiatrist, mostly through the coroner, like especially like when he's at the house talking to the Jeremy Childs character's parents.
Mm-hmm.
Which is weird because Jeremy Childs looks like he's in his 60s. And his parents also look like they in the 60s.
Well, that's another detail that I liked is every time he sucked a soul, he got a little bit cleaner.
Yeah.
A little bit more full.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's tiny details that I appreciate. And when you're in the primer group of friends, you're making some weird shit.
You're making some absolutely weird shit. This is also like just such a slow burn. Which I really, really love. Like we talked about it yesterday with Them That Follow, and I really didn't like the slow burn in that movie. But I think that the mystery and intrigue behind what's actually going on in this movie makes that slow burn work so much better.
Sure. There's a lot of like, I was concerned about this movie because I saw the trailer. And it looks in the trailer, it looks like it's shot on some sort of like shitty DV cam.
Yeah,
it looks great. It's great like a movie.
Yeah, it's a super good looking movie. And even though we said that the movie doesn't hold your hand, which is true, it's still accessible. I think.
Sure.
Like it doesn't
more so than Primer.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Primer's a weird movie you got to see 4 or 5 times.
And I assume Upstream Color, his other movie, is similar. I haven't seen that one.
Yeah, me neither. I've heard that one's really good though. But I mean,
bet it is.
It's tough to fuck with Primer,
Shane Carruth.
Yeah, Shane Carruth. Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, and this movie, the performances are all really, really great. Shane Carruth is fantastic.
He's a talented man.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's out here making like Primer. Like if you really think about it, that's like one of like the premier like high concept sci-fis of the last couple decades.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's interesting about this movie too is that while it has a lot of characters in it, it's not about the characters at all. Mm-hmm. Like it's really not about the characters. It's more about like trying to figure out who this person is.
Sure.
And like for instance, the Shane Carruth character, he has like some weird relationship with his boss, and they don't really ever explain what that relationship is.
There's quite a lot of that in this movie where there's like things that are happening that don't necessarily matter too much.
Exactly, because it's not the focus of the movie. And I actually, while I do find that it's a little bit distracting from the overall narrative, I do think that it's a neat way to have actual characters in a movie where you're not focusing on all their dumb bullshit.
Yeah.
And so, because like really what we want to know in this movie is like, why are people dying?
I'm also a big believer in you don't have to explain everything. And when we get to Knife and Heart, we'll get to that. And I think they explain too much in that. This, I don't need any explanation.
Yeah.
It's a scary virus that like turns this guy evil.
Yeah.
And like he just starts killing kids.
Or maybe it's a demon. Who knows? Maybe it's
a demon. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. Exactly. That is why I really like this movie. Because here's the thing is that the horror aspects of this movie are scary at the beginning, but because it's so unclear what's going on, it's still scary at the end. Yeah. It's maybe more so scary at the end.
It's definitely more so scary at the end, even if you see him in full view as he's a monster.
Yeah, straight up out here killing kids. Fucking hardcore.
Like this is another low budget movie, so like not that they do anything that crazy, but there's like some good special effects, and a lot of it's like just filmmaking technique, like the
the flashing of the lights. Yeah, every time the demon sort of takes over and becomes a puppet master. But like he's also got like a catatonic state and like a demon state.
That's
like,
really cool stuff.
And then there's like a self-awareness state that's like that makes you kind of love the character, which is what makes the second half of the movie so tough. Because like this character obviously like he's got to die, but because you have that that relatable side where he's just a dad who wants to see his kids, and he wants to he doesn't want to bring this darkness onto the world. I don't know. I think it's pretty well rounded. I was really surprised. I didn't know what to expect going into this one. I knew absolutely nothing about it other than the guy who directed Primer was playing the main character. That's all I knew. But I really liked it. I'm going to give this one a 4 on the Chadley scale.
4 is good. It's a very nice like sci-fi horror.
Yeah,
and it's definitely high concept, but not as much as Primer. But like it still manages to be extremely interesting at all times.
And I feel like
the payoff is amazing. Like the last 15 minutes is fucking unreal.
And I feel like when we were watching this in the theater with the audience, I don't think anybody in the audience was lost.
I wouldn't think so.
Because the movie, like, it explains itself just enough, which I really like. So yeah, 4 on the Chadley scale. Let's jump into our next movie. Now, this one, this is a bit of a special one. This is a bit of an exciting one, and here's why.
Ooh, exciting. Tell me more.
This is exciting. So this movie is called Red Letter Day, and this was actually directed by one of the Calgary Underground Film Festival programmers, Cameron McGowan. And not only that, but it was actually completely filmed, shot, done. Everything was done in Calgary.
Absolutely.
Filmed down in Tuscany in southern Calgary. And you know what? This movie is fun. Like, this movie is really, really fun.
There's a lot that I like about it.
Absolutely. And like, especially like as a Calgarian, there's a lot of like little references that they pepper in there for people specifically from Calgary. Like they mentioned Cross Iron Mills and things like that, like the big mall up in Airdrie.
Well, whatever about that. Who cares about that? That's not information that anybody finds interesting. But we did go see it with. Well, this was the premiere in Calgary, so a lot of people that worked on the film was there, and they do the most annoying thing possible is cheer every time any single person comes on screen. But that's fine.
Yeah,
I get it
because
it's the local premiere.
Half the audience was people who either worked on the movie or knew people who worked on the movie,
which is fine. I have no problem with it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
it did
every
take away
single time that someone comes on screen.
Yeah.
Come on, guys.
Yeah, it did take away from it a little bit. Like I did kind of want to be like, guys, shut. I'm trying to actually absorb this content. If you guys could shut the fuck up, that would be perfect.
And I really like the concept of it. Like the Red Letter Day. I think that's fun.
It's like a Blumhouse type concept.
It's a Purge type thing. But also I liked the kind of like political message.
Yeah, about addiction to social media or a difference in political stance.
Yeah, more of that. And I wish they actually would have talked about it a bit more. Because they do mention it off a little bit. And I know that's not the movie he was trying to make exactly, but that's the movie that I would have wanted to see more.
He still wanted to make something, funny and accessible and easy to watch. Like, this is an easy watch. It's a horror comedy, and essentially what this movie is about is that this young family of 3, a mother and her 2 kids, all receive these letters in the mail. And essentially what these letters say is they have a picture of somebody and their home address, and it says, you have to go and murder this person.
Yeah, they have a different opinion than you.
Yeah, they have a different opinion. They have a different opinion from you. And there's nothing that's more apparent to the social commentary in this movie is when the girl, the main protagonist of the film, Melanie, goes to her friend Alice's house, who she has been selected to murder. And they're talking about it because they both got selected to murder each other. And they're like, yeah, I really don't have anything against you, except you vote conservative. And I'm like, there it is. There it is. There's the political stance right there. Perfect. And so, like, as soon as that happens, the rest of the movie becomes abundantly clear, like the political message that it's trying to make, which I think works well in its favor, but it does dilute, I think, as the movie goes forward.
To me, I like this movie quite a bit. I thought it's good. I think it's a strong directorial debut. To me, the problem is I don't know if the actors are strong enough,
No,
or,
I don't
or
think
if the
so.
dialogue's not strong, because something's wrong. It doesn't feel like people.
Yeah.
And that's my main problem with
Well,
this.
it is. I think it's a little mix of both. Because the dialogue, like other than some of the like the witty lines, the funny stuff, like the
the line where they first get the picture, and it's like a nerd guy that he's supposed to kill, and he's like, that the only thing he looks like he can devour or kill is a whole season of Firefly. Fucking hell, that's a perfect joke.
That's a super
That's
funny
so
joke.
funny because fucking Firefly sucks.
However, the actual conversations between characters.
Oh, dude, it's like worse than watching a fucking Hallmark movie. As far as I was
it's
concerned,
like
I
it's
had a
soap
real
opera-y.
problem with that. Like, it does feel like they ripped him straight off like some sort of direct to CBC show.
Yeah.
and I don't want to get too offensive with this because
Yeah.
I do like the movie. It's just like that is the glaring problem I found.
Yeah, every conversation doesn't feel like an actual conversation.
Because once you get to the actual horror elements, it's fucking fantastic. Like it's got that Tom Savini, like he even mentioned that in the Q&A, like that he's a big fan of him, and you could see that with the practical effects. Like the practical effects are amazing.
Almost the whole movie is practical, and it looks fucking great.
Yeah,
Like really, really good looking movie. But then like also with the dialogue as well, I do think that some of it does come into play with just the actors aren't quite strong enough, and obviously nothing against the actors. I think they did the best that they could possibly do. But the long story short, these are local Calgarians who we're not a town that's well known for our filmmaking prowess. These are yeah.
I mean, stuff shoots here, but we're not really like a filmmaking town.
Yeah, it's not like this is a full-on Calgarian movie. You can say what you want about like Fargo and Inception, which were all shot here, or which were both shot here. But
this is more Gary Burns territory.
Yeah,
this
this
Way
is
downtown, baby. And,
Yeah.
What's that other one he did? Like City Limits or something. I don't know. I saw them both. I like Gary Burns.
Those are short films, right?
No.
Nope. Oh, never mind then. But
you should have took one semester of film school, and you would have saw Way Downtown.
I took 4 weeks of film school. Dropped out.
Yeah,
Dropped
bet
out.
you did.
Which makes, if you've ever listened to the show, that does make a lot of sense.
Checks out.
It absolutely
checks out, baby.
It absolutely checks out. And while I just think that a lot of the delivery, because the conversations aren't very organic, a lot of the delivery comes off as inorganic.
It just feels like
stilted.
It feels stilted, and I also don't know if that's just because Cameron seems like he's an almond-eyed alien. Like I don't know. He seems cool. But
Yeah, he seems like a good guy, but also he might not be a real person.
And he has fantastic taste in movies. And
Yeah.
he really does have a passion for movies, and I respect that so much.
Yeah, he started like naming directors in the middle of the Q&A, and I literally turned to you and be like, "This is all the shit I like."
Yeah, and it comes out in the influences. It's a great concept, and I'd like to see it maybe expanded on.
Yeah, I was gonna say as well, like, while I think this movie is pretty good, it's okay. I think that a sequel to this movie with maybe a little bit of a higher budget, could be could really thrive and make for a really good movie. And hell, even if Jason Blum got a sniff of this, I feel like this seems like sort of up his
Blum
alley.
territory.
Yeah, it's Blumhouse-esque.
He's not really hiring white dudes right now, though.
Yeah, that's very true. A lot of
Women mostly.
Yeah, a lot
which
of
is
women.
fine.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
which is great. Which I
we
love.
it.
Yeah,
we love it, Jason Blum, but he's not really in the market for white dudes right now.
Yeah, which is too bad, because Cameron McGowan does seem like he would fit right in with those boys.
Probably.
Yeah, and so especially in the second half of this movie, it does become just insanely fun. But because during the second half of the movie, people aren't even trying to kill the people that they were assigned anymore. They're just sort of killing people. And so the political message at that point, it's gone. It's gone. It's not in there anymore. The only political message that's there is the anarchist shit, which, I mean, I get the radical liberalism, but also I don't get it. You know what I'm saying? I understand the need for it, but wish that it wasn't a thing because it's too insane. And I think Cameron McGowan has that same stance. I'm not gonna put words in his mouth, but it does feel like that's sort of the same stance, just because they're villainized in this film, even though they it's like Thanos, right? Like, he kind of has a point, but also he is the bad guy.
I don't necessarily agree with you coupling in anarchists and liberals. They're not the same thing.
No. Yes. Okay. Fair enough. Fair point. Yeah. And then like the movie. Here's what's weird about this movie is that this movie ends, and it's a short movie. It's an hour and 15 minutes. The movie ends, but after the movie ends, there's just like 4 minutes of just like really good cinematography.
Yeah, a lot of drone shots.
Yeah, it's just like really good
I love a good
cinematography
drone
of,
shot
of
play.
shit in Calgary, like trails and like wheat grass and it looks amazing. But why is it there? Just right at the end of the movie, and then it just
Had their
fades out.
runtime, baby.
Yeah, probably. And then the movie just fades out.
But a point that came across in the Q&A quite a bit was the fact that they shot it in the daytime and it's a horror movie, and they just wanted to make the suburbs scary.
And we've mentioned like daytime scares
daytime
before.
scares, Annabelle Creation specifically.
Annabelle
some
Creation
of the greatest
and
daytime scares. Of
Curse
all
of
time.
La Llorona. We talked about that as well. But I agree. The way that they are able to convey those scares in the daytime is actually pretty astounding. Pretty astounding. Yeah, really, really good filmmaking. I like this movie just fine. It certainly has its fair share of issues. But for 75 minutes, you're not wasting my time at all.
And it has one of the greatest posters I've ever seen. So shout out to the poster.
The poster is fucking amazing. It's the best part of the movie, to be
Cameron,
honest.
let's hook us up with one of those. I'll put it in the studio here.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm gonna give that a 3 out of 5 on the Chadsky scale.
3 out of 5. I like the way that sounds.
It rolls right off the tongue. Now this is the part of the day where my body started crumbling.
I could tell.
Yeah, and I was actually really tired for this next film, but I'm going to talk to it about it as much as humanly possible. And that movie is called Knife Plus Heart.
Knife Plus Heart started out with a short film called Docking.
Oh,
and it was
yeah.
2 dicks in space docking. Pretty cool.
Yeah, really.
Pretty cool.
Really fucking wild that just happened.
Now this is the movie that I suspected I was going to need to call your parole officer, because this is a movie about it's a gay porn slasher essentially.
Yeah.
And it really takes its influences from like the Italian slasher genre, like the Argentos and whatnot.
Yeah. Suspiria.
Sure, Suspiria is not a slasher though. But yeah,
I just heard Argento.
yes, the one you've seen.
Yes, that's correct.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I agree with that a lot. Yeah. This movie's so French.
It's so French. It's like almost the most French. Like if we were to assign it a real rating and not just a fucking fake movie Epidemic rating, I would rate this French out of 10, because this movie's so fucking French.
Yeah. So it's a French language film, but also just like all the visuals and all of the locations
Very
and everything.
European. It's
super European. Yeah.
and I'll be honest, really liked it. I thought it was fantastic.
I liked it. I liked it fine. I think that much like High Life, this movie does focus so much on the perversion that it does sort of damage the narrative in some ways.
Well, I mean, I don't necessarily think they're concerned about the narrative.
Oh, no, they're absolutely not. Absolutely not. Because what ends up happening is that there is sort of like this weird balance between this movie, between this character of Anne, who's like the main protagonist of the film, but also a bad person.
Yeah.
This character of Anne is sort of trying to figure out why all of the cast of the gay porno she's directing are being murdered all of a sudden. And she's like talking to the police, and she's doing her own digging. But then the other half is just like, sometimes they just pepper in scenes from the gay porno, or like the shooting scenes like from the gay porno stuff.
Yeah.
And that's the shit I really like.
It's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
Like, this movie's like, it's not really, it's funny, but I don't know it's necessarily is supposed to be that funny.
No, but it's just really, really crazy. Like
It's
like
very crazy. Like, that is a good way to put it. It's not Japanese crazy, but it is like
it's French.
perverse.
It's French crazy.
It's French crazy. Yeah.
Yeah, and like there's a lot of neon lighting, and there's just like there will be 3-minute scenes of dudes.
We'll
just,
talk about neon lighting.
There's just 3-minute scenes of dudes just dancing in their underwear, and so many times in this movie they'll be like shooting like a porn scene, and then somebody will be like, "I can't do it. I'm limp. And then
the mouth is maybe the best character.
yeah, and then they bring in the guy who sucks him off to get him hard.
Yeah, the special mouth.
I do have a problem with this movie, though, and it's a big problem. It's a really big problem, especially given the content of this film. They never show a dick.
Yeah, I agree with that.
They-
The French are apparently cowards,
Yeah,
which
and-
I would have never expected.
Yeah, a lot of tits. A lot of tits in this movie.
But
they-
that does fall in line with like classic Italian slasher movies. They never show dicks in those, but lots of tits.
But just given the content of this movie, you think they should show a dick.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. I think most movies should show a dick.
Yeah, that's
to
true.
be quite honest, I think we're lacking in that. I think I want to see some equality. Like even Red Letter Day had some tits in it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cam, where's the dick?
Where's the dick at? John Dick
Fucking
3,
put one in
Parabellum. Yeah, and so from there, the movie just sort of it does barrel out of control because sometimes the Anne character will just suddenly be doing something, like she'll be out doing some investigation, and it's like they never explained how she got here, but it's fine.
Doesn't matter though.
It really doesn't matter. It's fine.
But my favorite filmmaking technique that was in this is throughout the movie they tell you who the villain is. Like they have these black and white vignettes that happen every so often when she's losing her mind or whatever, and it shows it explains the killer. And the part that I don't like is at the end of the movie they just play all of the vignettes together to explain it completely.
Yeah, I don't need that.
I don't need that. I already figured it out because
Yeah.
you showed me who the villain was the entire time.
Oh, I'm sorry. Did the King of Unsubtlety, M. Night Shyamalan, direct this film?
Yeah.
Don't put that thing at the end.
That was my biggest problem with that. Other than that, I really liked it. And there's a lot of characters,
Yeah.
and they all
Do something.
do something.
Yeah.
Like,
So some of them are way less important than others. Like you have your main characters like Anne and Lois, who are like clearly the two main protagonists.
they do that thing that happens in like a lot of 80s slasher movies is like the misdirect of who is the villain.
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
constantly do that. What was that movie we saw at the 12-hour marathon? That
Graduation Day.
Graduation Day.
Yeah.
Yes, that is the king of the misdirect.
Yeah, that movie fucks with you a lot. It's super good. It's also a 5, by the way. Graduation Day.
Oh, Graduation Day is an easy 5. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah, it's fucking incredible. I like this movie less. I do also really love the violence in this movie. I think that it really works to the movie's advantage.
This movie's so stylish. Like,
Yeah.
it's just dripping with style, and I love that kind of stuff.
Well, like if the sexualization is going to be as like perverse as it is in this film, like your violence has to be like the violence is matched with the sexuality of this film, which is actually really hard to do, and I give them a lot of props for that, to be able to sort of match those two perversions like so closely.
Sure.
But even like the main villain with the weird mask is like truly terrifying. Like the whole
great
movie.
villain.
Yeah, it's a really great villain. You remember it throughout the
He's
film,
got a fucking black dildo with a knife in it.
which is an amazing weapon.
Awesome.
And he's
Super awesome.
And he uses that black dildo to trick people.
Yeah.
You know, like he'll be fucking a guy with the black dildo, and then he'll just open up the knife. Perfect. Like that's a good way to get somebody. You know.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it is a very weird movie, and if like it is definitely one of the most sexually explicit films I've seen this year.
I guess for a movie that doesn't show dick.
Yeah, for a movie that doesn't show dick. Come on, guys,
What's going on?
show a dick. I don't love this movie. I think I maybe liked it a little bit less than you.
This is kind of the shit that I watch all the time, though.
Yeah.
Like, this is like this. I get that it's weird, but it barely scratches the surface of what Europe has to offer. To be quite honest.
Yeah, and I think a lot of like just like the absence of information, which like still works with the movie, does kind of bother me a little bit, just because it does.
What information were you looking for that this didn't give it? Because as far as I'm concerned, it spoon feeds you the information.
It spoon feeds you some of the information, but it doesn't spoon feed you like the actual journey to that information. Like they suddenly are just at a place and someone's explaining shit to them.
But okay, but
Yeah.
you watched the movie and you watched it all happen to them.
Yeah, and I mean, I still got it. Yeah, like I'm not saying it's like a huge problem. It's just I wish
I
there
just
was. Yeah.
give me one example is what I'm saying, because
Oh, okay.
I don't agree with that.
Okay. For instance, when they go out to the farmhouse, where the main antagonist of the film supposedly lived, there's no real at least a very thin like bread trail to that. Like, I feel like they don't explain how they come to the conclusion that they should go and investigate in this particular area. Once they get there and they do the investigation, it all makes sense, but I don't know why they went there. And it's possible I just missed something, but I just feel like there was no real reason for them to go out to that farmhouse, like where the grave was, where the mom was laying flowers. They just did it.
No, they went to my favorite part, actually. She takes the feather to the guy with the weird hand for no reason.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then he tells him to go there.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he does do that, but there is no reason for her to bring the feather to the man with the weird hand. You are correct with that.
No, I'm saying that is the reason you're looking for.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Which is fine. And like I said, it might be just something that I missed. I do,
Clearly, because he told her where to go.
I do like this movie though. I think this is it's a cool looking movie.
Yeah, it's visually it's stunning.
Maybe
it's very good.
Maybe a bit too long, maybe a bit too much stuff. Like it's almost like
It's got a lot going on for sure. I agree with that.
Yeah, it's almost like it's over sensory almost
because it's a very simple story. Like it's just a simple revenge plot.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a simple revenge plot told in just such an insane way that the American eyes simply cannot fathom.
Yeah, I guess because I had a blast with that. I don't think it's like the greatest movie of all time, but I do think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah. No, I'd agree with that. I'm gonna give it a 3 on the Chadley scale.
I will give it a 4.
Yeah, I did like it. I did really like it. Oh, midnight showing. Oh man, I was basically not alive for this. But
you were basically unconscious for 75% of this fucker. Nekrotronic, baby.
Nekrotronic. However, this does actually play into something we said earlier this week.
What's that?
Australia only makes horror comedy.
Yes.
Australia only makes it, you know? So this movie, Nekrotronic, this movie is great. It's really stupid.
It's so stupid. It's like and everything's so convenient, but I also don't care because it's this type of movie.
Yeah, it's a type of movie that I think if I saw this like in an actual theater at like a 7 p.m. or like a 4 p.m. matinee, I might be kind of pissed. Well, but I saw this at a midnight screening.
Yeah, and that's what it was made for.
Yeah,
clearly.
Absolutely.
I also don't like. There was people laughing hysterically, and it's
not that funny.
It's not really that funny.
Yeah, there was a girl a few rows back, but I'm pretty sure she was super drunk.
Yeah, she was fucked up.
Yeah, she was
some sort of
opiates.
Thing.
Yeah.
Well, let's not say anything like that.
let's not make accusations.
You gotta stop making direct accusations on this
show. But no, this movie is a lot of crazy fun. What I like so much about this movie, and maybe I'm stretching a little bit here, but it does feel like it was a direct response to the Catholic Church's response to Pokemon Go's release.
I do like that aspect of it, and I think you're onto something with that because it is clearly just a Pokemon Go for demons ripoff, you know?
Yeah, but like if you I don't know if you remember this, but like when Pokemon Go first came out, there was all these reports and there's actually a video that I fucking love where the Catholic person is like, I downloaded the app, I opened up the camera, and look at that, there's a demon right here in the church.
Yeah.
And I love that video, and like this does feel like they saw that and they're like, let's just fuck with them and make it actual demons, you know?
Because that is a great idea, by the way.
Yeah, it's super funny just to fuck with the Catholic Church like this.
I actually like this director. I've seen Wormwood, his other movie,
I never saw
and
that.
it's a pretty cool movie. It also has a very unique visual style, like this one does.
Mm-hmm.
And I really like this one because every shot is drenched in neon, and I just love that aesthetic.
Yeah, it's a really like it looks like Tron swallowed Doom. Like that's what it looks like, and it's fucking amazing. Like it's a really great looking movie, especially because it's Australian. I don't know what the budget was.
Hard to say.
Hard to say, but
it's not like super high, but it doesn't look terrible.
No,
a lot of stuff looks great.
I think it's a great fucking looking movie. Like it's a really surprisingly great looking movie.
There's a couple questionable aspects.
Yeah,
there's
some
CG,
there's some
it's
CG
mostly good.
Yeah, like the demon at the end looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Which like I didn't expect that at all. I do think that this movie ends like 4 times. because they keep fighting the same person.
Everything's
and
a
defeating
bit
him.
convenient. Like
Yeah.
nobody really dies because they're all necromancer fucking wizard.
Yeah, and they just and
motherfuckers.
they just keep bringing him back to life.
And
every
this guy's
time.
just happens to be the most powerful guy, so he's just bringing people back all the time, which I like a little more. What's it
substance, a little bit more struggle.
called? Yeah, struggle and like consequence, I think is the word I'm looking for, because
You want the guy to earn the glory.
and like when you watch these movies, like the point of killing off characters is often like so that you understand the consequence. They're just bringing back these motherfuckers now. They're lizard people, you know.
Yeah,
but
there's
also
a weird lizard person.
maybe I'm overanalyzing it because it's a fucking stupid horror comedy.
Yeah, I
right?
definitely think you are because like here's the dealio is that this is like the dead center, which is I'm gonna make a really weird link here, and I don't think these movies are similar in almost any way, but it's like the dead center where the shit that's in between the action sequences doesn't fucking matter. Like, not at all. You're really just getting, like, stretching some way to get to another scene where they're shooting a shitload of demons.
Yeah.
And in those scenes, that is where this movie thrives.
Absolutely, all that stuff's good.
Yeah, it looks great, like the plasma guns and all that. Did you know? I noticed something really, really interesting, and I don't know how many people would notice this, but if you look at their license plate, it's an Australian license plate, so it's 6 digits, 4 letters and 2 numbers, and it's PL45MA, which of course in lead speak would be plasma.
No, I definitely did not notice that.
Which is a lot of fun because they use just so many plasma weapons. God, here's the thing: is that plasma doesn't mean anything in this movie. It's just
Plasma doesn't mean anything in any movie, dude. It's not real.
yeah. they just say plasma and have laser guns, but they call them plasma.
Sure.
Yeah.
It does have like a very Ghostbusters vibe. to
Yeah,
it,
yeah, absolutely.
Because they
I would
even
say
capture shit in like these little box things.
yeah,
demon boxes.
I would say this is R-rated Australian Ghostbusters.
Yeah,
for sure.
absolutely. These people have seen Ghostbusters.
But then also they're wearing fucking superhero outfits that look like Tron. you
yeah,
know?
well, because it has the neon vibe, so there's a lot of you can tell its influences, and that's
Yeah.
fine. It works.
These dudes, they watch Tron, Ghostbusters, and Iron Man. Is like, we got
Straight up, he's got like a New Zealand buddy too.
Yeah,
Who
they
keep seeing ghosts, like
yeah,
piss off ghosts.
Yeah, piss off ghost. Yeah, he does have a New Zealand buddy, and that character is also really funny, but almost a little bit overplayed.
A little bit much.
Yeah,
sometimes he just shows up a bit much.
He just shows up and makes a joke, and usually they're funny. Sometimes they ain't.
Yeah, I didn't find this movie particularly funny, but it's certainly entertaining.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's not. I mean, I laughed a couple times, but it's not like Little Monsters, which had me laughing quite a bit.
That movie's hilarious, though.
Yeah, that movie actually is hilarious. This one is pretty funny-ish at times.
It is interesting though that this festival got 2 movies from Australia that are essentially the same fucking thing.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Just one has demons and one has zombies.
yeah.
Yeah,
And
they're-
there was there was kind of zombies in this one too.
Yeah, that's true. They were demon zombies.
Yeah.
For sure. I also think that the movie tries a little bit too hard with its concepts because, like, they explain the world perfectly fine, but man, does this world ever have a fucking million moving pieces in it. You know? And especially like when they open up the box and there's like the necromancer heads in the box, I'm like, okay, guys, let's just
A couple too many layers for you there.
yeah, let's just stick to the script here, guys. It felt like they were going off script.
Yeah, and like a lot of the times that it does do that, it's often for a bit. Like the reason they had the heads in the box was for like a Tourette's bit. Which,
Yeah.
like funny, I guess, but like,
I don't know.
This movie's long too.
It
It doesn't need
it's-
to be that long.
Yeah, it's almost 2 hours, which is just way longer
90
than
guys,
yeah.
guys, 90.
Let's get it down to 90, dude. I have to see Avengers Endgame on Sunday, and that motherfucker's 3 hours. Hey, 90. Fucking 90.
Dude, there's no way Avengers Endgame should be 3 hours. It should be 90.
Yeah, it should easily be 90. I'm not gonna waste fucking 3 hours of my life watching an
Just
Avengers movie.
kidding. I'm sure it's fantastic.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I'm sure it's a 5-star on the Chadsky scale.
Well, we'll discuss that more at length on Sunday. But I mean, this movie has its merits, I think, here and there. But ultimately, it's a movie you're not supposed to take seriously.
Pretty fucking stupid.
It's really, really stupid, and I think they know it's stupid.
Sure.
And I find just because the action sequences are not only so fun, but they're so frequent, which is like actually pretty rare in an action movie. You know, like you look at like Iron Man 2. There's not an action scene till like an hour 10 into that
That's
fucking
true.
thing.
People, this is like, it's very inspired by like the 80s good action movies, you know? Like,
yeah, like Tron.
Like Tron, I guess. Maybe. I don't remember Tron being that action packed.
Oh, it's definitely not that action packed, but this movie's very action.
I was thinking more of like real action movies, not Tron, like Stallone movies,
Oh,
you know,
like,
and Jean-Claude Van Damme movies.
I see.
You know,
I see.
like real action movies.
Like Rhinestone? No, that's a joke.
Yes, like Rhinestone.
That's a joke. I
Like
apologize.
Stop or My Mom Will Shoot.
Yeah, perfect. That's the type of action shit I'm looking for. It's a great looking movie. It's not necessarily that funny, and maybe the world, I don't give a shit about it at all.
But it's a world that I guess could be expanded on. If they were doing that.
Absolutely, and it does feel like it's semi lived in. Although, that being said, it also feels like it's semi lived in by the characters in the movie, and then like the actual people are just set pieces. They're not like, because like, how the fuck are there so many demons in the world and everyone just like doesn't notice? You know, it's just very bizarre.
Well, they're ghosts.
Yeah. Well, yes, they are ghosts. They are in fact ghosts.
And they were getting slayed by the necromancers.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a fun movie. It's a fun watch.
I really liked the style. I thought it was fun to look at.
Here's what I heavily recommend. I don't know if I would pay to see this movie in a theater. However, I would pop on Amazon, pre-order that Blu-ray, and then have a weird fucking movie night with 7 of your friends.
It's gonna be on Shudder soon, so I wouldn't worry about that.
Yeah, pop on over to Shudder. Why not? Oh man, it's an okay movie. I give it a 3 out of 5 on the Chesky scale. It's not perfect, but it's fun for what it is.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I enjoyed it for what it was, but I was also very tired. So
yeah, I was also like pretty.
Hey boys, it's me, Podcast Bot 5000.
Oh God, what do you want? What do you actually want? What the fuck do you want?
Yeah, I was just gonna say, you guys got a big day ahead of you. You should probably sleep in. Just kidding. I scheduled you all morning too, you fuckers.
You schedule us in the morning?
Yeah.
What? Why would you do that?
Starting at 2 in the afternoon.
Okay, well that's that. I mean, I guess that's still the morning technically. Yeah. I slept till 2 yesterday, so that makes sense.
What the fuck, dude?
Yeah.
Why are you so fucked up then?
I
I went to my day job.
I don't know. I slept till 2, and there were people being really loud outside my window, and I was pissed. But also, it was like 2 in the afternoon on a fucking Thursday. What
All
can I
right, you're
do?
going to be watching Beau Travier. Do you like my French accent, Chadley? I learned it from Brian Singer's Boys.
Brian Singer is French boys?
French Boys.
Oh, okay. Can we? Hey, you know what? I better call the lawyer. Make sure we can legally talk about this.
Yeah, we can. I think Hollywood should protect us. We're out here exposing Brian Singer.
Brian Singer will show up at our studio one day and try and murder us for sure.
You're also going to be watching Assassin Not Looks Bad. You're going to be watching The Mountain with Jeff Goldblum acting, really acting.
Yeah, it's been a while since he's done that.
It doesn't seem like he's interested in that anymore.
Yeah, but I'm excited to see.
You're
him
also
do
going
it.
to be seeing probably Chadley's top pick. Fuck you all, the UA ball story.
God damn, dude, that I'm actually so excited. The only thing that worries me is that Mountain is at 7, Juve Ball is at 9:15, and Mountain's 2 hours. So
It's
they
gonna
got
be close.
Yeah, it's gonna be close. So don't you fuck around with trailers. Don't you fuck around with
I better get my seat for UA ball. Is
Yeah.
all I'm saying.
Yeah,
People listening.
absolutely.
Somebody go protect our seats.
Yeah.
We should have talked. We should have told that one guy that always wears shorts to protect our seats.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, guy, it's fucking -10.
God, he always wears shorts.
It's really
That's why I
cold.
respect him.
It's really cold. What else are we watching podcast by?
Mutant Blast, of course, but of course,
But of course, because there's no way.
with director Fernando in person.
Yeah. I want to make something very clear too that I thought was funny. When Buck LeDuc was getting his tickets for today, he censored that when he was talking to the lady, he censored the title of the movie "Fuck You All."
No, I didn't. I called it its name.
You know, you called it the Juve Ball story. That's all.
That's what it's called.
No, it's called "Fuck You All."
Yeah.
The Juve Ball story.
Well, I don't say curses in public.
Oh yeah, that's very true. I did when you said that though, I did lean in and say the full title, please.
And I didn't.
You were not
So
having
I'm very respectful.
You were not having any of it.
I'm extremely respectful.
Yeah, but that guy who was selling you tickets was really way too excited to be selling you tickets. Dude.
Well,
he was into it.
He was impressed that I was going to see all these movies where these people are normally assholes about it because they have to print so many goddamn tickets all the time.
And they're like, "Is that all you're seeing?" And you're like, "No."
But then I'm like, let me just come around there and press the goddamn button. Then.
At this point, yeah. As we continue through Cuff, though, like I am still so shocked at how great, besides the audience for them that follow the fucking guy heckling, how great these audiences have been. It's just so consistently respectful.
If there was a movie to heckle in this province, it would have been Knife Plus Heart, and that people were into that movie.
Dude, people were really into it, and it was very gay.
Hell yeah, dude.
Yeah, man.
Rock and roll.
Yeah, hell yeah, rock and roll.
All right,
Hail
see you
Satan.
guys tomorrow. It's going to be the big day tomorrow. And then don't forget, Sunday, we're also talking about Endgame. So, because I know you guys don't care about this good content. So we're going to talk about some shitty content.
Yeah, because for some reason, you guys just want us to keep watching these shitty Marvel movies.
All right, Chadley, where can they find us on the socials?
You can head on over to Twitter and follow us at Movie Epidemic. You can follow us at Movie Epidemic on Instagram, as well as Facebook, Punch Nerds Movie Epidemic, or you can just go to facebook.com/Movie Epidemic. You want to follow us individually on Twitter. You can follow Buck LeDuc at Last Cool Dude.
Don't do that.
And he does not like that, which is why it's funny, and that's why you should do it. And you can follow me at Chadley the Movie. Thanks for listening, and I'm really excited for some more Cuff tomorrow. Hopefully I'm not dead.